Hello everyone, it's nice to see you. Today we're going to have kind of a different video. It's not very often you get to see my face. But because I'm not really making anything for you and I'm not really, I don't know, you're going to see my face. I hope you guys like it. Today I'm going to talk about mailing specifically in the US and specifically letters. This is directed for pen pals or people who send a lot of letter mail in the mail. And the reason for this is because when I first started my pen pal journey, I struggled learning what the standards were for posting mail was in the United States. If you're not in the United States, this video might not particularly pertain to you. I really don't know. This is just kind of the USPS standard for mailing letters, and have a bit more of an informational video. Anyways, like I said, I struggled a whole bunch, a lot, trying to find information on their website. Their website sucks. It sucks, guys. It's terrible. And it was really frustrating for me to find that information, and I just want to make it a lot more straightforward and more accessible to you guys. I will be talking about mailing a letter, and what qualifies as a letter and what gets disqualified as a letter. With that, there are a couple of categories, and I'll try to go through them in order that makes sense. I'm going to start off with the dimensions. Gonna pull out my list here. So for a letter, there's a certain dimensional size it needs to be, or at least be under. That would be 6 1/4 inches tall and then 11 inches long. Generally, you will not have to worry about this, especially if you are purchasing your envelopes. If you're buying them, you won't have to worry about that at all. If you are making your own envelopes like I do sometimes, you will have to keep that in mind when you are making them. If it is larger on any side than the 6 1/4 inch and the 11 inches, it will be considered a package and you'll get additional charges. After that will be the thickness. When you turn the letter from this way to this way, how thick is it? It needs to be underneath 1/4 inch. And that is kind of hard to measure because it's in the middle of the envelope. But it needs to be underneath 1/4 inch, because if it's thicker than that, that means it's going to be charged as a package, guys. They really want our money. Everyone wants my money. Who doesn't want my money? It's honestly earned money. Anyways, 1/4 inch or less for thickness. Over that, it will be considered a package. And this includes outside of the envelope, the item in itself needs to be underneath 1/4 inch. If you add dimensional stickers on top of your envelope, that will be included in that sizing. Another thing to keep in mind is the stiffness, or whatever you want to call it, of your letter. There's a couple things that come with this. You want to make sure that your letter is evenly packed, up to 1/4 inch. If it's unevenly packed, if one side is really thick and the other side's really thin, it will be considered non-machinable. If you have something hard, like a keychain or a pin, or maybe even some jewelry in there, sometimes people send jewelry. I've gotten buttons in there. That will be considered a package. That'll be non-machinable and probably considered a package just because it's going to go over that 1/4 inch size. And also, if your letter does not bend, if it can't be flexible, it will also be considered non-machinable. With that, all three of those becoming non-machinable means that they cannot run it through the machine, and it has to be canceled out by hand. Additional charges. And then the last thing is the weight. A letter can weigh up to 3.5 ounces. I generally don't send any letters that are more than 2 ounces, just because I don't have the money to be sending heavy letters all the time. And generally, once you get in a standard envelope size, once you get to about 2 ounces, you start to go over that 1/4 inch thickness. I'm gonna make you really confused. This next section I'm gonna talk about is gonna be really confusing, and I'm gonna do my best to explain it, but if you still have questions, comment down below and let me know, and I will try to explain it to you better. The first ounce, the rate for the first ounce is 78 cents. So there's a couple things that you can do at home to cover that if you have the stamps. The first one is to buy forever stamps, and that's normally what I do. That's what a lot of people do. Forever stamps will always work for the first ounce. They will be considered what the going rate is for that first ounce. So let me see if I can explain it well. I put my first ounce here. I bought this pattern that you're seeing, the baby animal pattern, I bought in 2025, so this year. With that, these will last me forever, essentially, if I don't use them. If I want to use this stamp in 5 years, even though the mailing rate is no longer 78 cents for that first ounce, it might be like $1, I can still use these, hence forever. I have some stamps, if I can find them. They're on the same sheet. This little Schroeder from Peanuts, I bought them in 2022. They still work for the going rate currently because they're labeled as forever stamps. Where's that other one? Hold up, they fell. Okay, these ones I bought at an antique mall. These are from 2011. If I was buying these from the post office, they probably would have been like $10. I don't know. I do know though that the postage rate in 2011 was a lot cheaper than it was in 2025. So that means because they're labeled as forever stamps, I can still use these for my first ounce. If it's labeled as a forever stamp, it's always going to be the current going rate for the mail. Even though individually in 2011 these stamps might have been 60 cents, they now are worth 78 cents because they're labeled forever. In 5 years, when the going rate might be $1, their value will go up to $1 because these are forever stamps. It will always work for your first ounce. And it will always be the first ounce going rate. So even if I put 2 of these forever stamps on, the first one will be 78 cents, and the second one will be 78 cents, or whatever the going rate is in that year. I hope that made sense. So on my 1 ounce letter, I can put a forever stamp on there. It will always work no matter what. Okay, that was for the first ounce. After your first ounce, every additional ounce that you're trying to mail will cost 28 or 29 cents. My letter's ready to be mailed, and this is a 2 ounce letter, or very close. So that's anything underneath 2.01 ounces, 2 ounces and less. There's a couple ways you can mail this one. You can use a forever stamp and another forever stamp. Now, like I said earlier, those forever stamps right now cost 78 cents each. You would be overpaying. But that is a very easy, simple way that's hassle-free. If you want to be nitpicky like me and want to get your money's worth out of what you're paying for your stamps, what I would recommend is that you buy the forever stamp and then you buy additional ounce stamps. Like the forever stamps, I don't have any right now, but like the forever stamps, the additional ounce stamp will be always the rate for an additional ounce, and that is currently 28 or 29 cents. So even if I bought them 5 years ago for 15 cents each, now that it's 2025, they would be $28.29. Even though I bought them a while ago, their value raises over time to match the going rate for the post office. I hope this is making sense. So yes, you can do a forever stamp and an additional ounce stamp. But this next way, I think, is the easiest way, and it is the most cost-efficient way, in my opinion. And that is, I only have one more. And right now, the 2025 collection they're like those little wedding flowers. It's a 2-ounce stamp. You can't read it still, because my camera kind of sucks, apparently. But that's a 2-ounce stamp. And this is also like the forever stamps, where their value will go up to match the postage rate. So this stamp here is about $1.10. In 5 years, when the postage rate raises, it will be worth those 2 ounces to mail, and you won't have to add any additional postage. This is the easiest way. Just buy the 2-ounce stamps. And I think that's as far as I'm going to go with that stampage. The last one is 3 ounces or more. And that's going to be, so your first ounce will always be 78 cents or whatever your going rate is in the current year you are watching this. Your second ounce number 2, right now in 2025, is going to be about 28 or 29 cents. And then your third ounce will also be 28 or 29 cents. These will also change. The rate raises. The government wants our money, guys. But right now in 2025, that's what the rate is right now. I really don't know what I was going to say after that. First ounce is 78 cents in 2025. Say that with me. 78 cents. Second ounce. Any additional ounce after this first one will be 28 or 29 cents. So this one, ounce number 2, is 28 or 29 cents. Ounce number 3 is going to be 28 or 29 cents. So let's just round those up again to 80, 30, and 30. 60 plus 80. I will need $1.40 to mail a 3-ounce letter. So like I said, as long as your postage adds up to $1.40 for a 3-ounce letter, you're great to go. If it's too much and it's really hard to calculate, don't worry. You can always go to the clerk at the post office. They'd be more than happy to help you understand it. And if you don't want to learn this stuff, I don't know why you're watching this video, but they can also help you just take it, calculate it for you, and you can just pay the price for it. Personally, I want to know so I can do it at home. The post office isn't super close to me. Okay. I hope that I've confused you thoroughly with all that stamp talk. I think I will try to go to my next topic. If you do have questions about that, I don't know if I did the best job explaining it, so let me know in the comments if you need more explanation on that. The next stuff, the rest of this video is going to be more interesting maybe, because it's just tips and tricks on decorating and making sure your envelope is safe in the mail. That stuff before, it was all like technicalities and the boring stuff. Boring. Get away. So there are lots of ways to decorate your pen pal letter. I personally don't have any letters to be sent right now, but I have lots of them that I've received. So I'll show you some examples from my collection that I've received from my pen pals. Here it is. Okay. So this one is very similar to how I decorate my letters in general. It's just paper and sticker, some washi tape, good stuff. I think most people decorate their letters like this, and personally this is what I would recommend. Or you can draw on it. Drawing is fine too. Pretty much keeping your letter flat is ideal in a situation so it doesn't accidentally become a package. It kind of sucks packing everything and then making it too thick because you decorated it and then paying more for it to be sent. So when you are decorating, you want to make sure that you have space. You want to make sure you have space for the recipient address. I have that covered because I don't want you guys finding me. But so some people will leave the space blank for it. Normally what I will do is I'll grab some scrap paper, write the address on there, and then glue it on, so I don't need to worry about my patterns and decorations getting in the way. I personally will put my return address up here so that this person, but if you do have questions, you can put your return address on the back. That is an option, guys. I personally don't do it because I feel like that would confuse me as a mail carrier. I'm not the smartest person. I would be confused. But if you like want it mostly decorations on the front, you can put it on the back for the return address. And so, yes, decorating it flat, paper, stickers, drawing, painting, anything 2D, wonderful, great, beautiful. After that, some people like to have more dimensional things. And you saw this envelope earlier. It's got this little dimensional sticker. This is very nice. It's very cute. And it is mostly flat. But because of this little bit that pops out, I would recommend mailing this in another envelope. Just so it doesn't get caught on anything, or that it doesn't get ripped off, or anything else bad that might happen to your letter. We don't want that to happen. So this is one example of something that I would mail in another envelope. Here is another example of something I would mail in an envelope. It's very cute. She drew on it. It's lots of flat elements, but her Achilles? I don't think I'm saying his name right. His Achilles heel. No, I am saying it right. Okay. Her Achilles heel was using hot glue. I don't know why she used hot glue. It's cute. It's acceptable, I guess. But because of that hot glue, it makes it very easy for things to snag and catch on it. I would have recommended her to mail this in another envelope, just because you don't want anything getting ripped off and anything like that. I don't know. You can maybe see there. She hot glued her stickers on. I don't know. I mean, dedication, getting all those things on. Kind of crazy though. I don't know. Personally, I would have sent this in a plastic sleeve or a bubble mailer or just another envelope so that those things wouldn't get caught in the mail. Protecting your envelope. What else I would do? And this one's so hard to tell on just because you don't know what state your envelopes arrive in. I don't have it here. On all the edges, put some tape on them. It can be packing tape. I would not recommend washi tape. It could be clear tape. I love my clear tape. This is what I use. It's like $1.50 at Walmart. It was the Up and Up brand. Just tape all of your edges. Let me repeat, all of them. Yes, even the top. The knife will go through it, so that they don't get torn open in the machines. I just recently received a letter that the whole side on this side, and then a little hole in the bottom were split open. And I think that's because of the machines that the mailing system uses. Tape your edges. Let me say it one more time. In fact, you say it with me. Tape your edges. Yeah, we don't want anything falling out of these. You are spending precious time and resources packing these for your beloved pen pals. It'd be a shame if anything fell out. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to keep my envelopes. I don't want your letters to come in a terrible state. It makes me feel sad because you worked so hard on them. Tape them! Tape them up, guys! Also, with that, when you are decorating your envelope, let's say it's like this one, make sure you glue things down well, and if the glue's not working, tape it. I love my tape. Use tape, guys! Tape! With that, I'm going to try to get past my tape. You can make your own envelopes. I wasn't sure about that when I first started. Like, I wanted to make my own envelopes, but I wasn't sure if there was regulations on like what kind of paper and things can be used in the mailing system. You can make your own. This one I made out of scrap paper, like scrapbook paper. It was a very simple template. You can find these online. You can find tutorials. Super easy. I don't have one right now, but something else I like to do. Let me itch my eyebrow. Another way I like to make my envelopes is out of magazine scraps. I'm coming back to my tape, guys. With the magazine scraps, I will find a lot of little bits of paper and tape them together. You want to make sure when you do this that everything's well taped down so that your letter and goodies that you're packing into the envelope don't get stuck on it. And then once you have that flat piece of paper big enough to make like the same size as you're going to make out of a scrapbook paper, make it that big at least, if not a little bigger. If you are making your envelopes, you want to be careful for those dimensions. Like I said earlier, 6 1/4 inches tall, 11 inches long. Keep an eye on that. But otherwise, you'll be golden. Making them, I've made them out of magazine scraps, regular scraps, scrapbook paper. I think it'd be really fun to do some out of newspaper, stuff like that. If you're going to make them out of more fragile papers, tape it. Tape the edges. Do whatever you can to protect them. And especially on those like magazine papers, those gift wrapping papers, newspaper, I would highly recommend taping the edges then and making sure everything is reinforced and that everything is secure. I think that might be about it. I don't know. Tell me what you guys like to do with your envelopes. Do you like to buy them? Do you like to have them pre-made? Do you like to make your own just out of scrap paper? Or do you go like full on crazy lady and tape magazine bits together like I do? Yeah, I hope this video was informational. And again, if I did a bad job explaining that postage situation, comment down below, let me know. I'll do my best to re-explain it, and I might make another video just for that because it was super long. Yeah, go ahead, like and subscribe if you liked this video. I hope it was slightly entertaining and mostly informational. Let's see, what else can I do? I'm gonna advertise my social medias too. You will find me on TikTok and Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. I will have the same handler for the most part. On TikTok, it will be pigeon. I don't know what I'm saying. It'll be pigeon pages on TikTok. And on Instagram, it'll be pigeon_pages. Very similar, but that underscore is very important for Instagram. And of course, you can find me here on YouTube. In fact, hit that subscribe button again, just to make sure that you can see the rest of my videos that I make. Bye, guys!